I'd done really nothing about blew our marriage to smithereens.
For weeks, the world has been captivated by the rumors swirling around Keith Urban and an alleged betrayal that threatens to end one of Hollywood's most iconic marriages.
Tour, and I love what he's going to do, what he is doing, and I'm just very, very grateful to be asked to be here.
We've analyzed the evidence, the reactions, and the fallout. But for Nicole Kidman, the headlines and the whispers are not the real crisis. The real crisis is happening behind the closed doors of her home, in the innocent hearts of her two young daughters.
I'm just incredibly, I'm honored to be a part of when you look at this list of honorees, I am astounded.
While the world speculates about the fate of her marriage, Nicole has reportedly been executing a quiet, multi-part secret plan. A protective shield designed for one purpose, to save her children from the fallout of a very public scandal. This is not the story of a scorned wife. This is the untold story of a mother's fierce fight to protect her daughters. And today, we reveal exactly what that plan is.
A show of unity. Nicole Kidman holding both of her teenage daughters close amid her split from their dad, Keith Urban.
To understand the secret plan Nicole is executing now, you have to understand the painful lesson she learned years ago. From her first high-profile marriage to Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman knows the devastating cost of raising children inside the blinding spotlight of Hollywood. Her first two children, Isabella and Connor, were raised in a world of intense public scrutiny and the secretive pressures of Scientology, a world that ultimately led to a fractured, painful distance between them after the divorce. Nicole Kidman learned a hard lesson from this heartbreak, that the world of fame can be toxic to a family. And when she and Keith Urban had their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, she made one silent vow. This time it would be different. This time she would build a fortress to protect their innocence. For over a decade, she has been meticulously constructing this fortress, brick by brick. Step one was a strategic escape from Hollywood. While they maintain a home in Los Angeles for work, Nicole and Keith made a conscious decision to make Nashville, Tennessee their primary home. It was a choice to raise their daughters in a community grounded in different values, away from the relentless paparazzi culture that defines LA.
You have two adorable little girls in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you strict at home? Are you a strict mum? Are you the disciplinarian?
Medium.
Oh, really?
I try to respect them as little people, you know, because that's what they are. So I give them a voice and I listen to them and I try to guide them because that's my job as a mum.
What do you think Keith will be like when they're teenagers, though?
Step two was creating the ultimate refuge, their sprawling private farm in Australia. This wasn't just a vacation home, it became their sanctuary, a place where the girls could run free, connect with nature, and experience a childhood far from the prying eyes of the world. It was their bubble of normalcy, and step three was a strict wall of digital privacy. Unlike many celebrity parents, Nicole has been fiercely protective of her daughter's image online, almost never showing their faces on social media. She has done everything in her power to give them a normal life. For years, this carefully constructed bubble has worked, but a scandal like the one brewing now is different. It's a poison that can seep through the cracks of even the most protected fortress. And as the whispers about their father grew louder, Nicole knew she had to escalate her strategy from simple protection to active defense. And her first move in this new, urgent plan was a drastic physical retreat. For years, Nicole Kidman's bubble of normalcy had protected her daughters. But a public scandal of this magnitude required an escalation. It required a protocol, and her first move was swift, drastic, and decisive: the Australian escape.
Really peaceful.
And you felt that the moment you came here?
The moment the rumors surrounding Keith and Maggie Baugh reached a critical mass online, sources say Nicole chartered a private jet. Within hours, she, Keith, and their daughters were leaving Nashville behind, heading to their most secure location on Earth, their remote, sprawling farm in Australia. This wasn't a vacation. It was a tactical maneuver. It achieved two critical goals. First, it physically removed her daughters from the schoolyard whispers and the supermarket tabloid covers in America. Second, It put thousands of miles of ocean between her family and the prying lenses of the Los Angeles paparazzi. Step one was to make the fortress physical. But in the modern world, escaping physically isn't enough. The next step in her protocol was to enforce a total digital blackout.
Those two pink lines, finding out I was pregnant!
Insiders claim that upon arriving in the sanctuary of their Australian farm, strict new rules were immediately put in place. Internet access for the children was temporarily limited and heavily supervised. iPads, phones, and any device that could access social media or news sites were carefully monitored. Nicole's goal was to create an impenetrable digital firewall around her daughter's innocence, ensuring they couldn't accidentally stumble upon the toxic headlines or cruel online comments. Step two was to make the fortress digital. But Nicole Kidman is a realist. She knows you can't hide from the world forever. The third and most crucial part of her plan was to control the narrative before her children heard a twisted version of it from someone else. This wasn't about confessing the sordid details of the rumors. It was about psychological defense. She and Keith reportedly sat their daughters down and had a calm, carefully planned, and age-appropriate conversation. They explained that sometimes in their line of work, people tell silly and untrue stories about them for attention. By framing the scandal as silly stories told by outsiders, she took away its power. She turned a potential monster under the bed into something that could be dismissed and even laughed at. Step 3 was to build the fortress in their minds. The fortress was built, the plan was in motion. But as Nicole fought to protect her children's present, this crisis was also forcing her to confront the ghosts of her past. And her ultimate decision on how to handle Keith Urban himself would be shaped not by this new scandal, but by the painful memory of the 2 children she felt she had already lost. So the fortress was built. The plan to protect her daughters was in motion. But with the children shielded from the immediate storm, one final agonizing decision remained for Nicole Kidman: what to do about her husband, Keith Urban. To understand the secret choice she makes now, we must go back one last time to the ghosts of her past. The aftermath of her divorce from Tom Cruise was more than just a public heartbreak. It was a private maternal tragedy. Her 2 older children, Isabella and Connor, raised within the intense world of Scientology, chose to remain with their father. It wasn't a dramatic, headline-grabbing custody battle. It was a quiet, drifting away, a slow and painful separation that, according to sources, left a permanent scar on a mother's heart. Nicole Kidman knows, more than almost anyone, the unimaginable pain of a fractured family. And that is the ghost that haunts Nicole Kidman in this current crisis. That is the fear that guides her every move. Her ultimate fear is not losing Keith Urban. Her ultimate fear is creating another broken home, another fractured family, another devastating scenario where her children might one day feel torn or forced to choose. She has seen this story before. She has lived through the worst case scenario, and she is determined not to let history repeat itself. So what is her final secret choice? It is not to leave. It is not to create more chaos for her daughters. Insiders claim that Nicole Kidman's choice is to fight for the stable, 2-parent home that she was so determined to give her younger daughters. The kind of united family front she was never able to maintain with her first 2 children. This decision is not born from weakness or forgiveness, but from a mother's strength. She is not necessarily staying for Keith. She is staying for Sunday and for Faith. She is staying to break the pattern of her past. She is choosing what she believes is the lesser of 2 unimaginable pains: the private pain of a potentially broken trust over the certain public pain of a broken home. In the end, Nicole Kidman's secret plan was never just about protecting her daughters from the rumors of today. It was about protecting them from the ghosts of her own yesterday. The intervention years ago was the desperate act of a wife trying to save her husband. This decision today is the calculated act of a mother fighting to save her family. And for Nicole Kidman, that is the only fight that truly matters.
I was running from my life at that time. I wasn't able to handle the reality of my life. And as an actor, you have this wonderful thing where you can go and get lost in somebody else's life.
I shot the hours directly after my marriage fell apart, and so actually a waitress in a restaurant that I'd gone into, she came up just quietly actually when she was bringing the check, and she just said to me, I've seen you through the last few years and you haven't looked happy. It's so good because you look happy.
And these pictures of her coming out of the attorney's office after the divorce was finalized showed just how happy she was.
Even though she'd suffered 2 miscarriages, a painful divorce, Scientology, and constant scrutiny, Nicole fought her way to the top and won her first Oscar for The Hours. And soon after...